Buenas tardes, good afternoon. This is Advanced Spanish with Tom Brudenell. And I want to go over our assignment and answer your questions, which I hope you will present questions as they arise. Don't be timid. So the assignment, as I remember, was to study the use of the imperfect, or also called the past subjunctive. It's the past subjunctive in the sense that it's just the one word. Now, there are complicated tenses, but they're actually easier because you only are conjugating one verb. In this case, of course, you have to learn the differences between Ar verbs and the other verbs, AR and IR. And they derive from the same stem as the indicative did. So let's just review page 342. The endings for AR verbs are typically ARA, adding the ARAS, ARA. First and third person singular, of course, are identical. So the context tells you the difference between I and he, she, or it. And the nosotros form, the vosotros form, which you see rarely, and the ustedes or the ellos form, the they or the you plural formal. Also, that's the same form for they, ellos. Now, when do you use this imperfect subjunctive? Well, you use it after another past tense, and it's a subordinate clause, almost always. So looking at page 342, Ana quería que yo hablara con ella. Anna wanted, and then that I speak with her. Well, in English we don't say it that way. We say Anna wanted me to speak to her, or with her in this case. So we use an infinitive construction in English, but you can't do that in Spanish, so you have to learn the verb forms. For AR verbs, it's ARA. For ER and IR verbs, it's IARA, and then the personal endings as needed. For ER and IR verbs, it's IERA, IERA, and the personal endings. So let me just read them to you at the risk of boring you to death, so you can accustom yourself to the sounds of the imperfect as it is spoken. Page 342. Ana quería que yo hablara con ella. Ana quería que tú hablaras con ella. Ana quería que usted hablara con ella. Ana quería que nosotros habláramos con ella. Ana quería que vosotros hablarais con ella. Ella quería que ustedes hablaran con ella. Now, every time they used usted or ustedes, you could say él or ella or somebody's name. For example, in the third line, Ana quería que Juan hablara con ella. Anna wanted John to talk with her. And the plural, Ana quería que ustedes, or que ellos hablaran con ella. They wanted you all or them to talk to her, with her. So, Anna wanted something to happen, okay? And in that second clause, the imperfect subjunctive is used. Mi padre me aconsejó. My father advised que estudiara, that I study. In English, my father advised me to study. But you can't use the infinitive in Spanish. You have to use this construction. Tu padre te aconsejó que estudiaras. Your father advised you that you study. Su padre aconsejó que estudiara. His or her father advised him or her to study. Nuestro padre nos aconsejó, advised us que estudiáramos, that we study. Vuestro padre, y'all's father, os aconsejó, advised y'all, that you all study. Now, I use the southern you all to great effect here because it's different from the English, which just simply uses you in singular and plural. Of course, in Spanish, it's different. So, wanting someone to do something, advising someone to do something, or in the third group here, doubting that something happened. Pepe dudaba que me acostara temprano. Pepe doubted that I went to bed early. Pepe dudaba que te acostaras temprano. Pepe doubted that you went to bed early. Pepe dudaba que se acostara temprano. Pepe doubted that either usted or he or she or somebody else went to bed early. Pepe dudaba que nos acostáramos temprano. Now notice that what's happening here is we're using reflexive pronouns with acostarse. We used plain old object pronouns in the second group, advising someone else, and in the first group there wasn't an object so much as an object of a preposition with someone, speak with someone. So Pepe doubting that we went to bed early. Pepe doubted we went to bed early. Pepe doubted that y'all went to bed early. Que os acostarais. Pepe dudaba que ellos se acostaran temprano. Pepe doubted that they went to bed early. It would be the same form if it were ustedes. Okay, that's the Ar verbs, typically using ara, or aramos in the ending. ER and IR verbs, instead of ara, yera, I-E-R-A. El médico insistió que yo comiera más. The doctor insisted that I eat more. El médico insistió que tú comieras más. The doctor insisted you eat more. El médico insistió que Ana comiera más. The doctor insisted that Anna eat more. Or you might say in English, for Anna to eat more. También insistió que nosotros comiéramos más. He also insisted that we eat more. Insistió que comieras más. Comierais, that vosotros, that you all eat more. Insistió en que comieran más. That would be either ustedes or ellos, as the implied subject. So, we get another thing in the main clause that's wanting something to happen, advising, doubting, requesting, insisting, and so forth and so on. And then if something is necessary. Now all of these start out with a past tense in the main clause. José me pidió que le escribiera. Joe asked me or requested me to write him, that I write him, que le escribiera, more literally spoken. Jose te pidió que le escribieras. Jose requested you that you write him, or he requested you to write him in English. Jose le pidió que le escribiera. Jose asked him, or usted, or her, that he, you, usted, that is, write him. Notice that we have two indirect objects here. Jose me pidió que le escribiera. Me is an indirect object of pedir, and le is an indirect object of escribiera. When we got down to the le and le, the third person singular, Jose le pidió que le escribiera, the le in the first place is a different person from the le later on. Jose asked him that he write him. Uh-oh. That's not very clear in English, is it? Well, it's no clearer in Spanish. You just have to use the context. The first le is someone that Jose is asking. The second le is Jose himself. If you think of the le there as meaning as usted, Jose le pidió, where that's asking you, usted, que le escribiera, the second le is back to Jose. Is that a bell we need to respond to?
Mm-mm.
I just heard a bell.
Yeah, it's front door.
Okay, Jose nos pidió que le escribiéramos. Jose asked us that we write him. In English, Jose asked us to write him. But you can't use an infinitive, as I said repeatedly now, in Spanish. Jose os pidió que le escribierais. Notice that the object of the first verb is the same person as the subject of the imperfect subjunctive verb. So that os pidió que le escribierais, he asked y'all to write him, that you all write him, the same you. So far so good. Any questions? Any comments? We have like a 4-second delay, so I'll wait 4 seconds and give you time to write it. You can write it any time, anything in. Okay, so some verbs change the root. For example, seguir. You remember in the present indicative it's sigo, sigues, sigue, so that e became an I. Well, same thing happens in the subjunctive. El profesor quería que yo siguiera practicando. The teacher wanted me to keep on practicing. Seguir is like continuar, to continue, to keep on, to follow. El profesor quería que tú siguieras practicando. The teacher wanted you to keep studying, to keep on, that you continue studying. He wanted him to keep practicing. He wanted that we keep practicing. He wanted us to keep practicing. Que siguiéramos practicando. Quería que siguierais practicando. Quería que vosotros siguierais practicando. But vosotros is left out because that's the only possible subject for siguierais. Quería que siguieran practicando. There we go. It could have been ustedes or ellos. They wanted them or you all in the formal to keep practicing. Now, here's another thing where someone's not wanting or requesting or insisting or advising and so forth. It just was necessary. No fue necesario que yo durmiera mucho. It was not necessary for me to keep studying, to study a lot. Excuse me. That I sleep a lot. No fue necesario que yo durmiera mucho. It wasn't necessary for me to sleep a lot. We could even say in English, I didn't need to sleep a lot. But you couldn't say it that way in Spanish. No fue necesario que durmieras mucho. It wasn't necessary for you to sleep a lot. No fue necesario que él durmiera mucho. It wasn't necessary for him to sleep a lot. No fue necesario que durmiéramos mucho. It wasn't necessary that we sleep a lot or for us to sleep a lot. You get the picture. Any comments or questions? Okay. Verbos con formas especiales. Verbs with special forms. Okay, notice in the right-hand column it says the forms parallel the third person plural preterite forms regarding their stems. So, we have diera, dieras, diera, diéramos, dierais, dieran from dar. So if we were to put those in sentences, no fue necesario que yo diera mucho a ellos. It wasn't necessary for me to give them a lot. No fue necesario que dieras mucho dinero. It wasn't necessary for you to give a lot, give money. Okay, so these are the special forms. Diera, estuviera, anduviera. Notice the yera endings, the yera supplants the vowel that was in the preterite. For dar in the preterite is dio, right? So diera supplanted the yo. Estar in the preterite was estuvo. So we have the UV in the stem. Estuviera. Same way with andar, which is a little peculiar because andar is otherwise a regular verb, and it just sums for whatever reason it mimics the estar preterite and therefore the imperfect subjunctive. On the right-hand column it says, these past subjunctive forms will seem quite familiar to you if you've learned the preterite well. A little bit of didacticism there. Then we have also producir. In the present tense indicative, producir is like conocer. It has the ZC. Conozco, produzco. I'm familiar with, I produce. Okay? But otherwise, it's got its own preterite stem with the J. Es necesario que produjéramos, to take the first person plural, fue necesario que produjéramos mucho para el mercado. It was necessary for us to produce a lot for the market. Notice that ser and ir are identical in the preterite. You'll have to use the context to tell what the difference is. Fue necesario que yo fuera bueno. Okay, is that ser or is that ir? Es necesario que yo fuera bueno. Has to be, has to be ser. It's necessary for me to be good. Es necesario que yo fuera al mercado. Fue necesario que yo fuera al mercado. Not that I be the market, but I go to the market. That's the context will tell you. So you have fuera, fueras, fuera, fuéramos, fuerais, fueran. Read them to yourselves, practice them out loud, so that they become instilled in your brain. Decir, you know, in the preterite is dije, dijo, dijiste, etc. Dijera, dijeras, dijera. Dijéramos, dijerais, dijeran. Again, you'll notice the first person plural needs an accent because it's the next to the last syllable, or what we like to refer to in grammar as the antepenultimate syllable. Penultimate meaning next to last, antepenultimate meaning next to last. So, decir, traer, trajera, etc., etc. These derive from the preterite. You remember that produjo, or produje, I produced, and produjo, he or she or usted produced, is the preterite. And fue was the preterite of both ser and ir. Dije and dijo, etc., were the preterite of decir. So we use that dij in the root of the preterite of the past subjunctive. Same way with traer, which in the indicative was traje, trajiste, trajo. So we have trajera, trajeras, trajera, trajéramos, trajerais, trajeran. Page 245, we see the imposition of a Y to separate what would otherwise have been a triphthong using I. So we have leyera from leer, leyeras, leyera, leyéramos, leyerais, leyeran. When you do this repetition to yourself, it'll begin to internalize, and you'll be able to more quickly come up with the forms on your own. So say them to yourselves. Creyera, creyeras, creyera, creyéramos, creyerais, creyeran. No one else can hear you. So you need not be self-conscious. Oyera, oyeras, oyera, oyéramos, oyerais, oyeran. Again, going back to the preterite roots with poder, remember it was pude, pudiste, pudo in the preterite. So we have pud as our root. Pudiera, pudieras, pudiera, pudiera, pudiéramos, pudierais, pudieran. From poner, remember the preterite puse, pusiste, puso. We have pusiera, pusieras, pusiera, pusiéramos, pusierais, pusieran. And saber was supe, supo, supo, supiste, supo. Now we have supiera, supieras, supiera, supiéramos, supierais, supieran. All of these endings tell you who the subject is. Except for the first and third person singular, they're identical, but that's sometimes you'll need the context. And tuve, tuvo, tuviste, etc. in the preterite of tener. So now we have tuviera, 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 tuviéramos, tuvierais, tuviera. You should practice what I just read through, okay? Again, page 346, we're using the preterite root, which in the preterite was quise, quisiste, quiso, and with hacer was hice, hiciste, hizo, and with venir was vine, vino, vino, viniste, vino, and with haber is ube, hubiera, ube, ubes, ubo, the same root, H-U-B. So, at the risk of boring you to death, I want you to follow along. I'm going to read these quicker this time, starting with querer. Quisiera, quisieras, quisiera. Quisiéramos, quisierais, quisieran. Try the next one. Repeat after me. Hiciera, hicieras, hiciera. Hiciéramos, hicierais, hicieran. Venir. No one can hear you. You just listen to yourself. Viniera, vinieras, viniera. Viniéramos, vinierais, vinieran. Hubiera, hubieras, hubiera. Hubiéramos, hubierais, hubieran. Now, we found in the beginning of the chapter that there are certain things that call for the imperfect subjunctive. You have a past tense, and you want someone to do something. You're advising someone else to do something, or telling them to do something, or wishing them to do something, and asking, requesting, or doubting, advising, and wanting, and something being necessary, etc. Now, frases con si. Si meaning if. Well, if implies different things. In the present tense, Juan estudia. Cuando estudia, toma café. Si Juan estudia, toma café. John's studying. When he studies, he drinks coffee. So, if John's studying, he's drinking coffee. Now, Pepe no estudia. Okay? No toma café tampoco. Pepe's not studying, he doesn't study, he doesn't drink coffee either. So if Pepe studied, what's the difference here? Between if John is studying, or if John studies, he drinks coffee. And if Pepe studied, it's contrary to fact. An if clause is contrary to fact, it's hypothetical. Then we use the conditional after that. Si Pepe estudiara. If Pepe were to study, he would drink coffee. Tomaría, the conditional tense. Juan va mucho al cine. Siempre lleva a María. Cuando Juan va al cine, or si Juan va al cine, lleva a María. Okay? John goes to the movie a lot. He always takes Maria. So if he go into the movie, he's taking Maria. Straightforward stuff. Nunca va al cine. Pepe nunca va al cine. Pepe never goes. Nunca lleva a nadie al cine. He never takes anyone. Well, if he doesn't go, he can't take anyone. Si Pepe fuera al cine, if he were to go to the movie, llevaría a Julieta. He would take Juliet. He would take in the conditional following the imperfect subjunctive or the past subjunctive in the if clause which is contrary to fact. We know it's contrary to fact because we already told that he never goes to the movie. But if he were to go to the movie, he would take Juliet. You get the difference. Si Juan tuviera mucho dinero, okay, does Ramon, si Ramon tuviera mucho dinero, well, we learn from that because this is an if clause with an imperfect subjunctive, that it's contrary to fact. So we know Ramon does not have a lot of money. But if he did, se compraría un coche nuevo. He'd buy himself a new car. So you have the imperfect subjunctive, and then you have the conditional. Si Ana estuviera en Acapulco, if Ana were in Acapulco in English, no estudiaría mucho. She would not study a lot. Si hiciera mucho frío, if it were very cold, me pondría un abrigo. I would put on a jacket, coat. Si fueras a Buenos Aires, if you went to Buenos Aires, tomarías un avión. You would take an airplane. You're not going to Buenos Aires, but if you were to, you would take a plane. So, then we have the compound tenses. They call it the tiempo pasado, past tense. Well, okay, this is really what I call the past perfect tense in English. Juan estudió, simple past tense. Si Juan estudió, tomó café. John studied. If John studied, he drank coffee. We learned about his habits of coffee drinking versus studying before. Pepe no estudió. Okay, so now we know that Pepe didn't study. Si hubiera estudiado. Hubiera is in the imperfect subjunctive, okay? If he had studied, if he were to have studied, habría tomado café. Again, we have a conditional tense of haber with habría tomado café. If he had studied, he would have drunk coffee. Juan fue al cine. Si fue al cine, llevó a María. John went to the movie. If he went to the movie, he took Maria. We know that as a fact. That's just the way he is. Pepe no fue al cine. Pepe did not go to the movie. Si hubiera ido al cine, habría llevado a Julieta. Had he gone, if he had gone, if clause, contrary to fact, he would have taken Juliet. That's the conditional tense. Conditional in the sense that the condition was that he went to the movie, but he didn't, so he would have. El año pasado, si Ramón hubiera tenido mucho dinero, se habría comprado un coche nuevo. Last year, if Ramón had, two different hads there, hubiera tenido. If he had a lot of money, se habría comprado un coche nuevo. He would have bought. Se habría comprado un coche nuevo. The se there, he would have bought himself. The se is necessary in Spanish because we wouldn't assume he was buying it for himself necessarily in Spanish. Where in English, we wouldn't say he would have bought a new car. We would have assumed it for himself. But we're more explicit in Spanish. La semana pasada, si Ana hubiera estado en Acapulco, no habría estudiado mucho. La semana pasada, si Ana hubiera estado en Acapulco, had Ana been in Acapulco? If she had been in Acapulco, she would not have studied much. Would not have. Habría. Ayer Si hubiera hecho mucho frío, me habría puesto un abrigo. Yesterday, si hubiera hecho mucho frío. Remember, hace frío, it's cold. This is the past perfect tense, or what they call the, what do they call it? The hypothetical situation. Anyway, it's the imperfect subjunctive, or the past subjunctive of hubiera. Si hubiera hecho mucho frío. That's the past perfect tense of I, or hace, excuse me. Hace mucho frío. It's very cold. Si hubiera hecho mucho frío, if it had been very cold. Me habría puesto un abrigo. I would have put on a coat. El mes pasado, si hubieras ido a Buenos Aires, habrías tomado un avión. Last month, if you had gone to Buenos Aires, you would have taken a plane. Question. Confusion. Boredom. So we use this past subjunctive in two instances. One if it's in an if clause, contrary to fact, and the other is if someone is demanding or wanting or requesting that someone else do something, or that something happen. Okay, we have ejercicios orales as the next section. I think we need to do those in class. I'm hoping we'll get to that before very long. We can go to, let's see. Let's just look at section A, 347. ¿Por qué habló usted con su amiga ayer? Why did you talk with your friend yesterday? Porque ella quería que yo hablara con ella. Because she wanted that I speak to her, or wanted me to speak to her in English. But it has to be a different clause in Spanish. It can't be an infinitive. ¿Por qué llamó usted a sus padres por teléfono la semana pasada? Why did you call your parents by phone last week? Porque ellos querían que yo les llamara, because they wanted me to call them. That I call them, more literally. Okay, let's go to B, page 348. ¿Por qué escribió usted una carta a su familia el mes pasado? Why did you write a letter to your family last month? Porque ellos querían que yo les escribiera, because they wanted that I write to them, or wanted me to write them, we could say in English. But literally, they wanted that I write to them. Has to be that way in Spanish, but you don't have to translate it that way. ¿Por qué vivió usted con sus compañeros el año pasado? Porque ellos querían que yo viviera con ellos. This is that first thing. Someone wants something, someone requires something, someone demands something, someone requests something, and it comes in another clause with a change of subject. Number 5. ¿Por qué aprendió usted el vocabulario de la lección 15? Porque usted quería que yo lo aprendiera. Why did you learn the vocabulary for lesson 15? Because you wanted me to learn it. You wanted that I learn it. Aprender, to learn. This is someone wanting someone to do something. And all of these use the same formula in B. to section C on 349. This practices the imperfect forms of the irregular forms, of the imperfect subjunctive. Dijera, said, estuviera, was, hiciera, made, did, or fuera, either went or was, fuera, either was or went, pusiera, put, supiera, knew, tuviera, had, trajera, brought, viniera, came, pudiera, could have, could, durmiera, slept, diera, gave, oyera, heard. Now, these are all past subjunctives, so that's why I was using the past tense. Number 1, de niño usted siempre dormía 8 horas. ¿Por qué? Porque mis padres insistían en que yo durmiera 8 horas. Because my parents insisted that I sleep 8 hours. Or they insisted on my sleeping 8 hours. Or they insisted me to sleep 8 hours. There's lots of ways you can do it in English. But you can't use those infinitives in English. I mean in Spanish. De niño, siempre usted decía la verdad. ¿Por qué? Porque mis padres insistían en que yo dijera la verdad. My parents insisted that, note that insistir en is always used after insistir. En que yo dijera la verdad. My parents insisted on my speaking the truth, or insisted that I speak the truth. Either way in English works. But this is the only way you can do it in Spanish. Okay, let's go to number 8. De niño, ¿usted iba con sus amigos al cine los sábados? ¿Por qué? Porque mis padres insistían en que yo fuera con mis amigos al cine los sábados. My parents insisted that I go to the movie on Saturdays with my friends. I'm not sure the insisting was go to the movie or with the friends, but I think it was the two together. In other words, don't go alone to the movie. Okay, number 9 is interesting. De niño, ¿era siempre bueno? ¿Casi siempre? ¿Y por qué? Were you always good? Or almost always good? Okay? And why? Porque mis padres insistían en que yo fuera bueno. My parents insisted that I be good. Or insisted on my being good, you can say in English. A little bit of flexibility there. Insistir in Spanish always takes en. Okay, let's do number 10. De niño, ¿usted sabía leer y escribir? ¿Por qué? As a child, did you know how to read and write? And why? Porque mis padres insistían en que yo supiera leer y escribir. Because my parents insisted that I know how to read and write. Number 12, bottom of the page. De niño se divertía con sus amigos, ¿y por qué? Did you have fun with your friends as a child? Porque mis padres insistían en que me divirtiera con ellos. My parents insisted that I have a good time with them. I guess that implies that I didn't fight with them. That could have been a good time, I suppose, for some people. For some kids, we all knew them when we grew up, right? De niño, number 14, page 350. De niño, ¿les daba besos a sus padres? ¿Por qué? Porque ellos insistían en que yo les diera besos. Because my parents insisted that I kiss them. Give them kisses. Give them kisses, literally. Okay, section D. Are you in Acapulco now? Swimming in the sea, in the ocean or the sea? No, because if I were in Acapulco, I would swim in the sea. Porque si estuviera, if I were in Acapulco, me bañaría, I would swim in the sea. Ok, número 7. En este momento va usted a una fiesta y lleva usted su guitarra. No, pero en este momento si yo fuera a una fiesta, llevaría mi guitarra. Right now, are you going to a party and taking your guitar? No, but right now, if I were going to a party, I would take my guitar. Here we go. Number 9. Ahora mismo entra usted en un restaurante y pide usted algo. Are you going into a restaurant and ordering something? No. Pero ahora mismo, si yo entrara en el restaurante, pediría algo. No, but right now, if I were to enter the restaurant, I would order something. Number 10. Ahora mismo está usted en casa y duerme una siesta? Are you at home and taking a nap? No. Pero ahora mismo si yo estuviera en mi casa, dormiría una siesta. If I were at home, there's a misprint in the answer. No, pero ahora mismo si yo estuviera mi casa? No, that should be en mi casa. I would take a nap. In Spanish, you don't take a nap, you sleep a nap. That's why they use dormiría una siesta. Section E, the dessert. Questions, confusion, complaints, feedback of any sort, good, bad, or indifferent. Silence implies indifference.
You got 2 thumbs up so far.
Excuse me?
You got 2 thumbs up so far.
2 thumbs up?
Yeah.
From one person or from more people?
From 2 people.
2 people. 2 individual thumbs up.
Belinda Smith and Badish Shaquille.
Okay. They're not ones who attend my physical class. So,
But they like it.
well, they evidently have some background So you're welcome to join the class, guys. Just join the senior center and sign up. Okay, now we get to the compound tenses. So we have to use have and had as the what we used to call the helping verb or the auxiliary verb. So, ¿estuvo usted anoche en el restaurante y tomó café? Were you in the restaurant last night and did you drink coffee? No. Pero si yo hubiera estado anoche en el restaurante, yo habría tomado café. If I had been last night in the restaurant, I would have drunk coffee. Number 3, ¿recibió usted mucho dinero ayer y compró usted un coche nuevo? Did you get a lot of money yesterday and buy yourself a new car? Or buy a new car, it didn't say yourself. Could have bought a new car for someone else, but I don't think I'd do that. No, pero si yo hubiera recibido mucho dinero ayer, yo habría comprado un coche nuevo. Yes, but if I had received a lot of money yesterday, I would have bought a new car. For whom we still don't know. Número 4. ¿Se acostó usted anoche a las 4 de la madrugada y se levantó usted hoy muy tarde? No, pero si yo me hubiera acostado anoche a las 4 de la madrugada, me habría levantado hoy muy tarde. Did you go to bed at 4 in the morning last night? And did you get up very late? No, but if I had gone to bed last night at 4 in the morning, I would have gotten up very late. Or we could say, I would have arisen very late. English is so wonderful with its irregularities. You can't say arised. It's arose. And the past participle's arisen. Aren't we glad we're not having to learn English? We did that already. We did it the easy way. We grew up with it. Okay. 5 minutes left. Here's the questions. Section F. Si usted tuviera $5, ¿qué compraría? If you had $5, but you don't, contrary to fact, that's why the C clause is in the imperfect subjunctive. What would you buy? Si tuviera $5, compraría un disco. I would buy a record. That's the word for record, based on our 1970 book. I don't think we had discos compactos in those days. They were just discos. Number 2A, page 352. Si usted fuera a Mexico, okay, now fuera could be were, if you were, or if you went. Well, a Mexico means went. ¿Hablaría español con los mexicanos? Would you speak Spanish with the Mexicans? Sí, si yo fuera a México, hablaría español con los mexicanos. Sure, if I went to Mexico, I'd speak Spanish with the Mexicans. And that way, we would understand each other. Hace 2 años, 2 years ago, si hubiera usted ido a México, ¿Habría hablado usted con los mexicanos? So 2 years ago, if you had gone to Mexico, would you have spoken to the Mexicans in Spanish? Would you have spoken to the Mexicans? And someone's how they answered it. No, hace 2 años si hubiera ido a Mexico no habría hablado con los mexicanos. 2 years ago, if I had gone to Mexico, I wouldn't speak Spanish to the Mexicans. Well, this person obviously has learned in those 2 years to speak Spanish with Mexicans or whoever. You got to read something into these things and make them make sense, right? Number 4A. Si usted fuera presidente, ¿qué haría usted? If you were president, what would you do? Si yo fuera presidente, no sé exactamente lo que haría. If I were president, I don't know exactly what I would do. We have a situation today where we could put ourselves in Trump's place and wonder what we would do, right? So, time's up. Thank you for your attention. If you have a question, say so. Otherwise, good luck. We'll pick it up from there next time.